Carl asked me to give the perfect pitch, and I told him that was not possible for me to do, so I asked to do the imperfect pitch. And so the challenge is to figure out what's missing here. Good afternoon. I'm Mark McWilliams, CEO of Medipax in San Diego. Medipax is my third drug delivery company, systems company, and both of those prior ones returned really excellent returns. But I'm most excited about Medipax because our technology is going to save lives, improve quality, and lower cost of healthcare in hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, and outpatient rehab. Over time, Medipax platform will wreak havoc on the infusion pump industry, those large boxes that hang on poles. And we're going to substitute those with miniature devices called electronic syringes that combine drug packaging and infusion pump control to do program delivery of those drugs without any of the internal hospital sources of error coming into play. So the product vision is a new class of device. Imagine a syringe holding the drug like you can buy them today, and imagine an infusion pump shrunk down to push the plunger of the syringe with a device that costs $1. That's what Medipax is doing. So these devices are single-use disposables, and because they're disposable, you can design them to work on a particular therapy exquisitely well, and the user interface that might be required becomes very, very simple, and because all the programming required can be put in the factory, you don't have nurses reading labels on the hospital floor, misinterpreting labels. Not to blame the nurses, there's a lot going on here. And then translating what's on the label of an admix container in the hospital to programs for a pump. It's very complicated. We eliminate all of that. So you probably don't realize what a big problem this is. 300,000 patients are harmed annually through the misadministration of drugs in hospitals and various care settings in the U.S. Thousands of people killed annually. Remarkable problem. These errors extend hospital stays and they drive up costs significantly. Pharmacy operations are challenged to do all this admixing, labeling, transferring of the drugs to the floor. Nurses have significant workflow challenges, interpreting labels, and then programming pumps. The bottom line is that the pharmacy has little control over what happens to those drugs when they get to the floor. So the Medipax solution is a small device filled with the drug, pre-programmed in the factory, delivered through the Pyxis machine to the hospital floor, labeled with a patient barcode. That device is put onto the patient at a certain stage in their treatment in the hospital. I won't reveal where because we don't share the application yet. They will report wirelessly from any location, whether that be in the hospital, skilled nursing facility, or home care. So if you're doing a drug trial, for instance, you'll be able to figure out whether the patients took the drugs on time, the appropriate sequence. You can imagine how that's going to change workflow between the hospital and the patients. And I think it's easy to understand how that can get at the root causes of many of these errors that are being taking place. So there's a lot of risks in commercializing this kind of technology. There's a lot of competition in infusion pumps. There's a lot of competition in making syringes and pre-filled drug containers. And what we did was spend a lot of time understanding the regulatory risks and opportunities so that we could go to market with a device that qualifies as a 510K, the simplest regulatory hurdle to get over. And once we validate our technology in the marketplace, we can then sell the technology to pharma companies who will do the heavy lifting of doing the combined device. There is no reimbursement risk with our device. It's a disposable in the hospital setting. It's paid for under a DRG payment for a treated condition like a bedpan or a gown. So we don't have to do a post-clearance expensive clinical trial to get a reimbursement that'll pay for the product. Technology risk is low. We've proven the science. We've proven the product works. The design is nearly completed. We'll be generating revenues next year. And the manufacturing of the device is remarkably simple. I wish I had one to show you. So we don't see large manufacturing risks. In terms of the team that's going to deliver this exciting technology, as I mentioned, I've done 2 of these businesses before, had great returns. We've assembled a world-class management team that comes from this industry. We've assembled a world-class advisory team that consists of nurses, pharmacists, doctors, and clinicians that work in the go-to-market application, and they're all very enthusiastic about the exciting opportunities with this product. So, how are we going to exit this? Medipax is a broad platform business. Now, that's a blessing and it's a curse. A platform business can solve many problems, but you've got to be very clear about which problem you're going to solve first. And we've done extensive market research to understand that. The key thing with platform is, for our case, we can sell off multiple applications. We can generate a series of exits, drug therapy by drug therapy, to 10 or 20 drug companies. We could sell the business lock, stock, and barrel to a Baxter, a Cardinal, a Hospira, a Covidian, or we could sell off individual pieces, as I mentioned. So multiple exit opportunities, and those will get teed up as soon as we get regulatory clearance. The last company in our space that got clearance to market a similar product in a different therapeutic category sold for $200 million, hadn't sold a single product. So exciting exit opportunities. Applications range from insulin delivery, pain management, anticoagulants, antiemetics, pretty much anything that can go into a syringe for injection into a patient. We think those exit opportunities will be teed up as soon as 2 years from now. In closing, we're seeking up to $15 million for a Series B. That funding will be used to complete the testing needed for FDA regulatory submission. It'll help us identify contract manufacturers and pair for manufacturing. It'll provide working capital and inventory, and it'll allow us to conduct post-clearance studies at thought leader accounts to underscore our value proposition. We've raised $5 million to date to build the team, to de-risk the technology and the product, and we're looking for this money to take it to the distance to commercialize. We seek to close the round at the end of September, and diligence packages are available for immediate review. Thank you for your consideration.